All right, fandom. In this video, we're going to talk a little Disneyland forward. There is some movement in the Anaheim area that, in my humble opinion, is kind of pointing in a direction of approval for Disneyland forward. And I'm going to kind of break it down. We're going to watch a great video, kind of analyze all of this. We have a lot to talk about today, fandom. I'm flying solo today. Thanks for coming back to OG 55. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today on OG 55. So today we're going to talk about some movement in the Anaheim area. There is something that just happened actually about a week ago now that, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, points in the direction of Disneyland Forward getting approved. Now, look, nothing's set in stone. You know, we still got that FBI Harry Sadu thing. That's a big wrench in the gears for sure. But I think this news that dropped about a week ago about another project actually is very it kind of creates a more optimistic it kind of gives Disneyland Forward some better chances, to say the least, in my opinion. So we're going to kind of break this down. So Justin Martin, okay, this gentleman tweeted the other day, for the last 12 months, my team and I have been working tirelessly in developing OC Vibe, a new immersive entertainment, art, and culture hub in Anaheim, California. This past week, it was approved. Exciting to share more details as we work towards an opening. Okay, so this gentleman worked on this OC Vibe project, okay? It looks like it's kind of a multi-use project that kind of surrounds the Honda Center, okay, not too far from the Disneyland Resort, and it was recently approved. So let's dive into the article that he linked and kind of talk about it, okay? All right, so in the article, and this is from Spectrum News, Anaheim Planning Commission approves $4 billion OC Vibe project. Okay, so basically it says here the bullet points. Okay, I'm going to be short and sweet with this. The bullet points. The Anaheim Planning Commission approved the $4 billion OC Vibe project. The owners of the Anaheim Ducks manage the Honda Center and are developing the OC Vibe project around the arena. The OC Vibe project includes the building of new office buildings, 2 hotels, park space, shop, dining, and more. And I think there's actually even a concert hall or stadium or whatever included in all of that, if I'm not mistaken. And it says here the Anaheim City Council will vote on this project in September. So basically, this project, this $4 billion project to sort of develop this kind of multi-use kind of space, very similar to Disneyland Forward, by the way, right? Was approved by the Planning Commission. It's still pending approval, from what I understand, from the Anaheim City Council, but it's looking like things are moving in the right direction for this project. And if you look at the artwork here, it looks pretty cool. Again, it's very similar to a Disneyland Forward type of project. The Honda Center is sort of taking its own land and sort of reimagining it, repurposing it into this kind of multi-use thing, right? Entertainment hub. Really, really awesome. Now, what I want to do before I kind of dive into like my opinion and kind of really, deep dive into this, I want to play a video back from April from our friends over at Hey Bricky. Now, by the way, if you are not subscribed to Hey Bricky, do so. Definitely do so. He provides incredible analysis, and you'll see it in just a moment when I play a clip from one of his shows. He provides incredible analysis. He's a friend of the channel. I will link his YouTube down below. Definitely subscribe to Hey Bricky. But let's go ahead and play the video from April from this gentleman. And it definitely ties into what we're talking about today. Give me one moment. Okay, so here we go. This is from Hey Bricky, and it premiered on April 15th, 2022 in regards to this OC Vibe project. Here we go.
So let's look at the plans, because there's something that is very obvious to me here. The Honda Center becoming way more evolved and having a complete community built all around it. It's very interesting because right now, this is all just mainly a lot of parking lot space, a couple of businesses that could probably easily be relocated. But when we look at the Honda Center becoming this real heart of an entertainment space, this says to me that the city of Anaheim learned a lot from the power of Disney, how reliant they are on Disney over the span of the pandemic. I mean, they're really trying to build a big area here to bring in a lot of entertainment for both locals and tourists. But when we look over at Disneyland Forward's plans, that's when I start to realize these two designs are very similar. And ultimately, Disneyland Forward is about getting freedom on zoning laws so that in this more advanced time that we live in, it's not hard to understand how a parking lot could also be a spot where there's entertainment and hotels. Mixed-use space is the future of architecture, and you see it in every major city. If you look at this spot right here that I just highlighted, that's Anaheim Garden Walk. If that were to be purchased, you could easily see how you could go from the Esplanade down to a third gate or even a Disney Springs. So both of these projects are in the exact same style, which would make you think that if one got approved, the other would get approved. And with everything that Anaheim as a city learned with Disney being absent for over 400 days, it would only make sense that they would want to give them whatever they want, because now Disney shows that they have all of the chips in negotiation. But if they're going to give Disney what they want, can they also give the city what they want, which is just more flexible zoning all around Anaheim, which really is a playground of a city. There's so much entertainment in Anaheim, it is off the charts. So I'm going to say that both of these are happening, and maybe this is the police department putting the horse ahead of the cart. But when you look at this work, it'd be hard to imagine that one wouldn't get approved without the other, because it's pretty much the same concept, just one in the private sector of Disneyland Resort doing whatever they want on their property, and then over at the Honda Center putting in some parks, putting in spaces for lots of different businesses to sort of congregate. It's almost as if the city of Anaheim knows that Disney is going to take the Toy Story parking lot, convert it into a third gate, and use the Simba parking lot to make DCA even larger, and God only knows what they'll do with the space that sits outside of Critter Country on the backside of Disneyland. But if Disney is going to use their land, the last land that they own, to make a third gate and expand DCA, then could this be the city of Anaheim beating Disney to the punch and saying, hey, we'll make the Disney Springs for your West Coast location, because there will be no more land for Disney to go in on a massive retail area unless the city of Anaheim beats them to it. And if you really study OC Vibe, it does look like the West Coast equivalent to Disney Springs.
Okay, so that was Hey Bricky, and like I said before, links down below for his YouTube channel. He is phenomenal, incredible analysis. I'm a huge fan of his content. Subscribe to him. But that was a great video, and that was from April 15th. So that was before like the whole Harry Sadu FBI drama, right? But I think he makes a great point. Like if they're approving this kind of mixed use project on that scale, I think this whole OC Vibe thing is like 115 acres that they're redeveloping. Disneyland Forward is probably similar. It's probably in that same ballpark. When you take into account like the Toy Story lot, maybe like the Pixar Pier Hotel and the surrounding parking lot and all that stuff, you're probably looking at around the same, about 115 acres total. If they're approving this and they're moving forward with this OC Vibe, that bodes well, in my humble opinion, for Disneyland Forward. And I agree with Bricky. I think if one gets approved, the other will get approved. I think it very much is the canary in the coal mine kind of situation. Okay. And I'm pretty excited. I'm much more bullish on Disneyland Forward now getting approved after this OC Vibe. Now, look, caveat, the OC Vibe thing isn't 100% for sure. I think now it goes to the city council, right? So the planning commission approved it. Now it goes to the city council, but it's looking like it's on the path, on the road to getting approval. Now, a lot of people will say like, okay, well, yeah, that's great, OG. That's great. But this is a different situation with Disneyland Forward, because Disneyland Forward was actually like brought up in the FBI report for the mayor's corruption scandal. They were referred to as the cabal, or part of the cabal, and all this stuff. And that's true. That is a very, very valid point. But here is the thing, though. Anaheim has really shown, and this has actually surprised me. And I really thought once the whole Harry Sadu thing kind of went down and back in May, that Anaheim would really overcompensate and really get like kind of bogged down in like reacting to that corruption scandal in a really kind of I don't know, like a going overboard kind of thing, right? Kind of just really going overboard in their response to kind of like overcompensate and let people know, hey, look, now we're serious about this, right? And Anaheim really hasn't done that. They really haven't. They really, really haven't. I'm gonna bring up an article pretty recently. I think this is from like July-ish. It says here, no campaign finance reform for Anaheim. Okay, this is published on July 14th. Okay. I mean, this is just a couple of months ago, and supposedly the Anaheim City Council shot down campaign finance reform. Now, look, if you're all about the optics, right? If Anaheim is all about the optics, about we're going to root out the corruption, we're going to really get serious about this. Well, this would have been the thing to really to really push through and get passed if they were really concerned about optics. So when I hear, oh well, Disney doesn't want Anaheim City Council is not going to approve Disneyland Forward because it's all about the optics with the FBI thing, I'm not so sure about that. This was a huge indicator, a massive indicator back in July, that Anaheim is really not all too concerned about the optics in regards to the corruption stuff going on in Anaheim. They're really not. And now the OC Vibe, which is a very similar project to the Disneyland Forward, is chugging along, very likely to get approved, full approval. I'm telling you, it's looking very good. It's looking like that, the city will approve Disneyland Forward. In what form will that be? I don't know. Will it be everything Disney wanted? Probably not. But I think some form of Disneyland Forward will eventually get approved, right? Now, a lot of people are asking when. I don't know. They might do it soon. Who knows? But they also might wait until after the election. Politics does play a role in all this. I mean, at least to some degree. Maybe they'll wait until after the election in November and go ahead and pass that. Maybe early January or something, right? Who knows? Who knows? But I would be very surprised. And look, this is the thing. Whenever you make videos or put your opinion out there on social media or in content like this, right, and you speculate, there's always a chance you're wrong. And I'm more than happy to eat crow if I'm wrong. I've done it many, many times. But in my humble opinion, I really do believe that all these things, that the vote on the no campaign finance reform, the OC Vibe moving along, likely to get approved, I think all these things really point in the direction of Disneyland Forward getting approved eventually. I really do. And this is fantastic news. Look, as Disneylanders, I've said this many, many times, eventually Disney is going to have to look outside the current perimeters of those parks if they want to really, really grow. Okay. If we don't get like a Disneyland Forward approved where they can start making use of other parts of the resort, then we're going to eventually cannibalize ourselves. Eventually we're going to get to a point where they run out of room and they're going to have to start making decisions. Okay, do we keep the Tiki Room or do we get rid of it and build a Moana ride? And I don't want to be in that position. I want to have as much land as possible in the Anaheim area that Disney can kind of play with so we can keep our beloved attractions, the old school nostalgic attractions, while adding to the resort. And not have a situation where we're constantly having to remove in order to add, right? That's why Disneyland Forward is so vital. It needs to be passed eventually in order to prevent that. Eventually, we're going to use up the motorboat cruise area. Eventually, Tomorrowland will get redone. Eventually, we'll use the existing space for DCA. And then what do you do at that point, right? Then what do you do? So this is why Disneyland Forward is so important. So I think all these things point to good things for Disneyland Forward. I don't see a lot of fans or content creators really talking about this OC Vibe thing, and I'm kind of surprised, to be honest with you. I think this is a huge signal a massive signal pointing to kind of hinting to us where the city might go with Disneyland Forward. And I don't know. We'll see, but I want to hear from you guys. Comment down below with your opinions on what this OC Vibe approval from the Planning Commission means for Disneyland Forward. Hey, look, maybe I'm nuts, right? Hey, whatever. If I'm nuts, I'm nuts. But maybe I'm not, right? So comment down below with your opinions on what you think, where you stand on it. You agree with me, disagree with me. And again, I also want to just give a huge shout out to Hey Bricky. He's awesome. I played a clip from his show back in April. I will link that video down below. But overall, watch that video. It was fascinating stuff, but also subscribe to him. He's a friend of ours here at OG55, and he really does phenomenal work and a really brilliant analysis from Bricky. So check him out for sure. Comment down below. And as always, have a wonderful, wonderful